guys, so today I will be counting down my top 15 favorite LEGO minifigures. Although I do have to admit I couldn't exactly decide on 15 exactly. I do have a bonus 16th minifig. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So let's go ahead and start with number 16. So I know this is supposed to be like a top 15 list, but I just couldn't leave out Doc Brown. So, I mean, he's just such a cool looking minifigure. I mean, that hair and then the face, the torso, he just looks so cool. But, I mean, I had to throw in just an honorary 16th spot for Doc Brown just because of how cool his minifigure is, how good the movies are. So, I mean, just a little honorary 16th spot for Dr. Emmett Brown. But let's go ahead and move on to the actual start of the list at number 15. So number 15 on my list is the 2014 Plo Koon minifig. And this one just looks a lot better than the original, mainly just because the coloring is better, but that's also probably just because of time, and that I've only had this one about 4 years, whereas I've had the 2010 version for 8 years now, so that's just kind of age, I'm assuming. But, you know, this one, they did add the tiniest bit of back printing, which you can't really see. I apologize for that. But, I mean, Plo Koon is my favorite Jedi, so, I mean, with a minifigure version of him, there's just no way that I could have had him not on the list. So, I mean, the minifigure itself isn't that cool, but, I mean, that head mold is just fantastic. So that's my number 15 pick. Let's go ahead and move on to number 14. So, number 14 is Commander Wolffe from the Clone Wars TV show. And that helmet print is just amazing. And then his head is also a unique face print. So, I mean, I just love Commander Wolffe. He's one of my favorite clone troopers. So, I mean, like I said with Plo Koon, I just could not have him on the list. So, I mean, the rest of his minifig is kind of plain and simple, but that helmet is just super cool, and I really like his character in the show. And the legs are also a phenomenal print. So, I mean, cool looking minifigure, and I just love his character in the Clone Wars show. So that is why Commander Wolffe is at number 14. At number 13, I have this 2005 327 Star Corps trooper with Pauldron. And I just really love the classic clone design. They're not really classic. This is the second clone design to come out of the Phase 2 armor. So, I mean, I just really like the older style of clones. I think it looks really cool, even if the head is just solid black. But, I mean, I do have a bunch of the regular 327 troopers, but I just really like that Pauldron piece. So, I mean, the figure itself is nothing too special, but it's just classic LEGO Star Wars, and it's just really cool. So, that's my number 13 pick. Let's move on to number 12. At number 12, I have the 2016 Carbon Freezing Chamber Boba Fett. And Boba Fett is just such a cool character in the movies, and it's just cool minifig, like that cloth piece, and all the printing is just absolutely amazing. The only thing that brings this figure down is that lazy face, just another angry clone. But overall, this figure is just absolutely phenomenal, and just Boba Fett's such a cool character, and just really cool minifig. So that is number 12. Next up is number 11. At number 11, I have Benny, which is kind of a surprise for even me, because Benny's not my favorite character from the LEGO movie, but his minifigure is just so simple. It's a nice throwback to the original classic space minifigs, and that face is just really, that face is just great. And then also his alternate face. Whoops, took him off the stand. That helmet's not coming off. But his alternate face is the classic smiley. So, I mean, this figure is just so cool, so simple. Yeah, I mean, it's just great. And then we even have the cracked chin strap, which is just a really cool detail. And even the scratched up planet logo. So, Benny, even though he's not one of my favorite LEGO movie characters, does get a spot at number 11. At number 10, I have the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones, and Temple of Doom is not one of my favorite movies. It's actually a pretty horrific movie, gruesome, violent, and it wouldn't really recommend watching it. But, you know, the Temple of Doom Lego set was one that I wanted for the longest time. When I finally got it, I was so excited, and I really like the Indy minifig, and it's the only Indiana Jones that I have, actually. The set is in pieces scattered throughout my LEGO collection, but one of the few things that remains from the set is this Indiana Jones minifig, and I just really like it. So that's my number 10 pick. Let's move on to number 9. At number 9, I have this Clone Wars clone from 2008, 2009 to like 2010, 11. And I mean, it's so simple. It only has printing on his helmet and his torso. But you know, it's such a desirable minifig, and it was included in the battle pack, the 2009 clone battle pack, which is one of the sets that got me into Lego collecting. So this clone just kind of, it's just special. So I mean, the figure itself is like very desirable and it looks great. But I mean, it's one of the things that got me into Legos, so it's just really cool. And that's my number 9. Let's move on to number 8. So getting a little sentimental with number 9, and same with number 8, because this is the Winter Soldier, and this was the first promotional minifigure I ever got from the Lego store. So I actually went to the Lego store and spent $75, and I got this minifig. That's the whole reason why I wanted to go to the store, because I finally wanted to get a promotional minifig. And this was probably the best time to do it, since the Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU movies, and this minifigure is just absolutely fantastic. And even get his comic book face on that side. And just fantastic minifigure, means a lot to me. So that's number 8. Move on to number 7. My number 7 pick is this little tiny Bilbo Baggins minifig. And this is from the Good Morning Bilbo Baggins polybag, and the torso is really what sells the minifigure. It's just an amazing torso. The arm print is phenomenal, and just everything else about this minifigure is insane. And then he does have an alternate face, but it's not the best. Kind of looks sad there. But just I love the Hobbit movies and just the Lord of the Rings universe in general. So I mean, just cool minifig. I just like the torso is absolutely amazing. And I also really like the Bilbo characters, so I mean, just, yeah, I had to put him on the list. So he has the number 7th pick. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6 is Jango Fett, and I mean, I just like Jango Fett's character. I mean, sure, in the movie, he didn't exactly do too much, but he just looks so cool, and I mean, the guns that he has aren't the best, but just the printing and detailing and coloring is so good, and that face is not unique. They used it for a few Boba Fett minifigures, but just overall, this minifigure is just so cool looking, and I mean, it's not the original 2002 Jango Fett. I don't have that one, but you know, this one, definitely, the printing is just amazing, and it's just one of my favorite minifigs, so I mean, obviously, it's on the list. So, Jango Fett has number 6. Let's move on to the top 5. Kicking off the top 5, I have Legolas from the Lord of the Rings. And, I mean, I just absolutely love the Lord of the Rings. It's constantly competing with Star Wars for my favorite fantasy universe. And this Legolas minifigure is just so cool. This is actually the Dimensions version. But I remember going to a convention, and I was so excited when I found a Legolas minifigure. And I was so excited to buy it and bring it home and start playing around with it. So, I mean, it's just such a cool minifig. I mean, sure, it's not the most detailed minifigure out there, but just looks great. I love Legolas' character in the movies. It's just one of my favorite Lord of the Rings characters. And the minifigure is equally cool. So, Legolas has number 5. Let's move on to number 4. So, number 4 is Chira Imwe. And Chira is absolutely, definitely, 100%, without a doubt, my favorite Rogue One character. And the minifigure is equally cool. I mean, just the cloth piece around his waist, the face print, the torso print. And I don't actually have his weapons on him right now. It's just they're so big and bulky they would take up the entire shot. But, I mean, Chirrut, really, the figure is insane, and I absolutely love Chirrut's character in Rogue One. So I just couldn't not have him on the list. I know I've said that for a lot of these, but it's just such a cool character, and the minifigure is equally as impressive. And so that's my number 4 pick. Let's go on and move on to number 3. Kicking off the top 3 is the classic yellow Spaceman from Classic Space. And before anybody says anything in the comments, I do know I do not have the air tanks for him. Found this in a big yard sale lot, and I'm so excited. It's just such a cool minifig. I mean, the planet printing is in perfect condition, and the helmet doesn't have a crack. I love that classic smiley face, and it's just such a cool minifig. And, I mean, yeah, it's really all I can say about it. It's just so cool. I like it so much. It's classic Lego. And it's just, I love the color yellow, so, I mean, it's like perfect combination here. So that is my number 3 pick. Let's move on to number 2. I'm pretty sure Gandalf was my number 2 pick in my previous top 15 minifig video. And like I said with Chira Imwe, Gandalf is 100%, absolutely, without a doubt, my favorite Lord of the Rings and Hobbit character. So I just, and the minifigure is just so cool, I had to put him in the top 3, and he just looks amazing. I mean, you gotta love the hat and the beard and the staff and the cape and all that. And the face printing is so well done. It's just such a cool minifig, and it is on the simpler side. That's almost what gives it its just charm, I guess, to call it. I'm not really sure, but, you know, I just absolutely love Gandalf's character in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And, you know, you get a Gandalf minifigure, and you love the Gandalf character, so, I mean, it just had to put it in the top 3. So, that is it for numbers 15 through 2. Let's go ahead and move on to my favorite LEGO minifigure. And my number 1 pick is my Sigfig. Nah, I'm just kidding. This one I'm absolutely positive is the same as what I chose for my favorite minifigure actually about 2 years ago now in my original top 15 minifig video. And that is the classic knight from the Yellow Castle set. This is one of the original minifigs from 1978, and I mean, it's so simple. It only has printing on the face, the classic smiley, and the little sticker for the armor. There's no torso printing, and it's just a cool minifig. I mean, its simplicity is what makes it cool, I guess, and the helmet is just really cool. So is the axe piece. And I mean, it's classic Lego, kind of like what I said with the Yellow Spaceman. It's so simple, it's just really, really cool. So, I mean, that is my number 1 pick, guys. Let's go ahead and close out the video. So, guys, that is it. My top 15, or really 16, minifigs as of February 2018. And obviously, these are just my personal opinions on which figures are my favorite. So, you guys can leave a comment down below saying maybe what your top 3 favorite minifigs are. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, remember to click that subscribe button down below. And also to leave a like, comment, and share the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.